Hello and welcome to another episode of A Tonic for Lunacy. I'm your host, Donna. I received a really good question that I wanted to chat about. So, the question that I got was, how do you commit to a new business? I am scared of failing, obviously, but I'm also scared of things staying the same. The imposter syndrome is so real and ridiculous. How do you commit to a new business and its success? So, what I did was I went to my HDST group and I gave them a little shadow sermon in there where I riffed about this. And then I also opened it up to them. Like, what do you think makes for a successful business? What do you think helps you commit? What do you think makes a good entrepreneur? And here's the thing, let's normalize this. The reason that a lot of people want to open or start their own business is because they want more time, more energy, more money. And it's true, usually a 9 to 5 job is limited. You're limited with how much you can make if your salary. Your time is very strict, right? 9 to 5. And what you do is typically, one or two things. It's in a little box. So a lot of people do feel like they want to start their own business, they want to be more free, but I don't know if I can handle it and I don't know what to do. So I will start by saying that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone is meant to start their own business. Not everyone is meant to have a side hustle or whatever you call it. Some people are 9 to 5 people, and that's cool and that's great. And I love that for you. The truth is that we can look in our body graph for some of these elements. So specifically the penta. I'm going to share my screen. This is BG5 in human design, right? So penta is the connection between the sacral and the G center and the throat. So upper penta is more known to lead, right? To be a leader, to lead the group, and oftentimes to also lead a project. So this is gate 7, 1, 13, 31, 8, 33. If you can see here, upper penta leads the group. These penta skills are about a team, okay? But we can also look at different places in the graph, in the body graph, to show us what makes for a good entrepreneur. So don't just look at this. What I'm trying to say is I can point to a few things where I can say this person might not be a great leader or might not have the energy to lead themselves or lead a team, but hey, they could work on their own as kind of like this lone wolf energy and create something for themselves, of course. This lower penta, which is between the sacral and the G, this is more of the people that need more direction. They need information from that upper penta person to kind of give them some clarity on what to do, on how to do the work, right? Remember, this is connected to the sacral. This is about work. But some other things that we can look at is the entrepreneur channel, the 2644, that connects the spleen to the ego, right? This person can lead themselves. They are natural salesman, marketer. They know how to sell to the public, right? And if you feel like if you have this channel and you feel like you don't know how to do this, then we need to do the shadow work on this channel. Also, this is someone that needs to be on their own time. I need to be able to set my own hours. I need to be able to like set for myself when I'm going to work, when I'm available, and when I'm not. Gate 21, especially if gate 21 is in line 3. This person has a really hard time with a boss. They need to lead themselves. Now, we can look at the channels that go between the sacral and the spleen, or the sacral and the solar plexus. And these are nurturing channels. So this person might be really good at nurturing a project in the long term if somebody else is bringing the vision, if somebody else is giving the directions. So if I have a projector that's coming in with the vision, then me as a generator with lower penta energy and maybe some of that nurturing tribal energy, I can nurture this, but I might need some more direction. Also, we're looking at undefined ajanas, undefined crown. They might get really in their head. So guess what's really important? Discipline. discipline is always important when you're starting a business. This is a conversation that we've had, that we had in the Voxer group. Discipline and consistency. Now, consistency looks different, right? Do you have the 5? Do you have the 515? Do you have the 15? Do you have none? Timing looks different if you're a triple split. Timing looks different if you've got the 26-44. Timing looks different if you are highly individual. If you have the 360, we're talking super mutative, super melancholic. Your timing is going to look so different. So consistency isn't necessarily showing up every single day. It's showing up consistently for you specifically based on your energy. Now, what did I say before consistency? I never have a script, and I really should write things down, but that doesn't make it as fun. Before consistency, I said, I don't know, but discipline, right? Especially if you have an undefined mind. And that's the crown and the ajna, if you remember. Or if you have an undefined root where you feel all the pressure and you're like, I'm always under pressure. I'm in a fucking pressure cooker. It's really important to understand your body, understand what's important, understand what's not important. Stop thinking about things that are not important, right? If you need this discipline, then you're going to have to get off the gram, right? Because that can be super confusing and super conditioning and comparing, right? We can find ourselves really, really comparing. So if you have an undefined ego, you might find yourself comparing and trying to do things the way that other people do it for recognition, when really those of us that are here to create our own businesses and to just do this kind of work in the world. And I want to stress that one way of moving through the world and making money is not better than the other. But if you're doing it just for recognition, just to prove something to someone, even if it's to yourself, even if it's to a parent that has already passed, I can guarantee you're going to have a tough time, because you're not using the correct energy. You don't have the correct reasons. And that brings me to my next point, your why. So something that we talked about in the Voxer group is that if you are doing all of this work on your business, if you want to create this business, you want to have your own hours, you want to make your own money, you don't want to have a cap on how much you make. I get it. Totally get it. And that's awesome. But if you're in it just for the money, the willpower, the ego, even if it's defined, that it's going to take to push, especially in the beginning when money can come a little bit slower if you're just starting out, is going to burn you out, and it's going to fuck with your mind. So I find, and of course, this is never true for everyone, right? Because we're all different. I like to stress that in everything that I do. If this doesn't resonate with you, cool. Like, let's normalize, take what you need and leave the rest. Not everything that comes out of my mouth is going to be potent or, give you an aha moment. But if you are just in it for the money, if that's your why, then your energy is going to run out. You're going to burn out quick, especially if, you're in a niche where it's a little bit harder to get clients, or it's going to take you more time to put yourself out there, or it's going to take you more time to market. And these things do take time. I think a lot of times we look on Instagram, we're like, oh my God, this lady made $1 million in the bathtub just today, but you haven't seen the 20 plus years she has spent getting to this place. And that brings me to my next point, hard work. I just listened to something from Victoria Washington, who also talked about hard work. And she said, let's stop thinking that it shouldn't be hard, that it doesn't involve hard work, that success does not include hard work. Like, it takes hard work to be a successful entrepreneur. So if you're in it because you don't want to work hard in the beginning, again, I'm sure you can find a business to start where the work is super easy. But I think the difference is not that the work is easy, it's that you enjoy it. So it doesn't feel like you're doing work. It doesn't feel hard. But what's important to note is that it requires hard work, especially in the beginning, and you have to be committed to it. And the way that you get committed to it is that you have a stronger why. You have this energy of, life sucks right now and it's going to get better, but I got to keep going. Or I'm doing this to share the message. I'm doing this because people have to hear about this. I'm doing this because this was my experience and I don't want anyone else to have to deal with this. I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm doing this for my better good. I don't care, for your family's better good, but you better be committed to your why, or else it's going to like burn out and fizzle away. Okay, I wanted to say something else about these pentas. So these pentas are not a end all be all, but each one of these pentas does come with different skills. So this is my little BG5 penta skills. 31 is going to be admin, organization. Like this can show you some of the things that you're really good at in order to leverage it in a business. Like, hey, okay, I'm really good at accounting, recording the past, numbers, details. Your girl's got that one. That's why I'm an accountant. Like this is something I'm good at. So I can leverage this skill over here. Now, these are skills that you have, that you've worked on. It doesn't mean that you can sell these or teach somebody else this skill sometimes, but sometimes it's more about, this is how I can leverage myself in my business. So I don't normally recommend BG5 because I feel like it's just a glorified human design system. And it's just like, how can I make more money off of human design? But this is a class that I have in HDST where I do walk you through all of the BG5 elements so that you can become familiar with it in case that's going to be helpful for you. But in terms of entrepreneurship, I want to go back to this question that I received. Imposter syndrome, that's real. And here's the thing, we have to take action before the confidence. Confidence comes after we take the action. So you're not just going to wake up one day and feel confident as fuck. No, you're just going to feel enthusiastic, right? You're going to have that enthusiasm, which really creates fire. And you're going to have that commitment to your why, whether it's to better your life or to better someone else's life or anything else, whatever. It can even be the money in the beginning. It's just be careful because that's like walking on ice, right? It's going to melt. And what was I saying? I just love that ice analogy. And then I forgot what I was saying. That MG brain. You want to have your why, your commitment, your discipline, your consistency. If you think that you're getting into this because you want to work less in the beginning, it doesn't look like that. It really doesn't. I work way more. It's just that it doesn't feel like work and I enjoy it. And sometimes it's on my phone, so it doesn't really look like work. But there's definitely work that goes into building a business. This is what I was going to say. Doers be doing. If you're a doer, if you wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm going to fucking do this. And I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. If I fail, I fail. I've already failed. Like what's the point if I don't try? Then you're more likely to be successful. But if you are questioning every little action in your mind, not following strategy and authority, and you're just questioning, going around and around and around in your mind, then of course it's not going to work because you're not doing anything. So doers that do things, risks, try something different, they put it out there, they take it as information, those people are more likely to be successful. They're more likely to be successful entrepreneurs because they don't just sit around and wait for the perfect timing or wait for the money to come knocking on the door, right? They're out there trying. And then the second part to this is that they are also out there taking in this information and not making it mean anything about them, right? It doesn't mean anything about you if somebody isn't buying. That's somebody else's situation, right? That's their thing. You could take it in as information. Okay, this might not be what they're looking for. How can I make changes? How can I adapt? How can I edit? How can I do this? How can I do that? So that the market actually wants what I'm selling. It means nothing about you as a person. What does the market want? What does the market need? Are there people selling this? Is this selling? Right? So there's all this market research that also needs to be done. It's not necessarily like, oh, well, I have an idea, so I'm just going to go and I got to be successful because God said I will be. There's work. there's work ethic, there's failures. You will fail. You need to know what the market wants. You need to know what the market wants. And we do this in the human design shadow training, where we look at your chart and we're like, okay, these are your wisdom centers. This is what you can be selling. These are your strengths. These are your offers. These are your profit potentials. These are your ka-ching, right? Like these are your big money makers, but where's your passion? Where's your excitement? This is how you can best market. This is the type of energy you work with best, right? We go deep into everybody's chart to really pull out all of these pieces because they are important. And the last thing I want to share is failures. Failures. I don't care if you're a line 3, a 6, a 1, a 2, a 4, a 5. I don't care. If you got to take risks, you got to do it. You got to be the doer. Do the doing, be the doer, whatever. Be the being. You have to take risks somewhere. You have to put it out somewhere and recognize that it might not work. It might not work the first time, the third time, the 8th time. And if it does work, great. Now you have information. And if it doesn't work, great. Now you have information. And then I want to say this, even with a successful business, we burn out. We get tired. We get exhausted. We get our periods. You don't have to give up. You don't have to quit, whether it works or not. You have to take in the information. Take in the information, put it in a spreadsheet, use it to understand yourself and your business better, and then decide, do I just need a nap or do I need to pivot? And then have the flexibility and adaptability to be able to pivot when it's time to pivot. Pay attention to the market, right? Not necessarily giving up. It might just be a pivot. Or you need a nap and a vacation. We all need naps and vacations. I will end this by saying that the human design shadow training will teach you all of this in a massive way. Your business, you will never be the same after HDST. So we start May 6th. If you're watching this, whenever you're watching it, it's next week. I really hope we see you in there. If you have questions, please let me know. We still have a few spots open, and then we will close maybe until the end of the year. So I hope this was helpful in terms of business and a little bit of human design elements. I know I talk fast, but that MG brain. All right, let me know if you have questions. I'll see you all next time.